it's really good. It has helped me to reach all my firsts because I'm giving out a lot of good academic tips actually. So if younger Suki heard my advice when I was going to university, I would have done so much better in uni. If you want to take away anything from this video, take away this. Make sure you... Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is a part 2 of my second year at University of Sheffield tips I've learned to help freshers series kind of thing. This video will be focused on the academics and the admin side of university, which is the less interesting, less fun side, but probably the more important side. If you haven't watched my previous video, I've made a video talking about the social and the living in hall university accommodation bits in my last video, which is the part 1 of the series. So go check that out before you watch this video, or maybe watch that video after you finish watching this video. Okay, first things first, I feel like this is something that has helped me be organized in my university experience and just be more proactive and more productive in everyday life, which is like purchasing a planner. Like, you don't have to purchase a planner, you could always use a digital one using like Google Calendar or something, but I'm definitely more like an old school person that enjoys writing. My planner has been through thick and thin with me. I write a lot on my planner, like every single day I write something on, and it's pretty much filled with things that I want to do, things I need to accomplish, schoolworks I need to do, like people I need to meet, just so I keep everything in check and I don't forget anything. And it allows you to see your week in a bigger picture, allows you to set deadlines for yourself. Utilize office hours. This is something that I have for my degree. I think this is something that most degree has it too. So basically for every single my module leader will like devote some of her time to have a one-on-one session with you through Skype, obviously right now because it's COVID-19, but normally you would go to her office and meet her for like 40 to 50 minutes, kind of chat about your work, about any questions you have. I always use it when it's like nearly my assignment deadline, so I can talk to her about my assignment, about the direction I'm going with my essay, just so that she could give me tips for me to improve. This is something that like, it's really good. It has helped me to reach all my firsts because I've been using office hours, and obviously it's free. You've already paid your tuition fee, why not just make the most out of it and just utilize your professor to the max. And the best way to progress is obviously to communicate with your professor, to know your weakness and work on that. So definitely utilize the office hour, which I didn't in my first year. Okay, talking about reaching out to your teacher, I have like a little anecdote that I want to share with you guys. I originally got a 73% for one of my coursework that I've done, but then I realized there's something wrong about the marking, and I just normally this first year Suki, she wouldn't be proactive and try to ask the teacher and confront her and challenge her about her marking because I just feel like it's a bit rude. But second year me, I was just like, I'll just give it a shot, because if I don't give it a shot, the answer will always be no. So I shoot her an email saying that I don't really agree with your marking style. I don't really think I deserve this mark, although I already got a first, but like I'm freaking an overachiever. And then like she came back to me and I got boosted up to a 77%. So yeah, like this is literally a living example. University education is very, very independent compared to high school. No one's gonna nag you, no one's gonna force you, no one's gonna punish you if you don't hand in your assignment or if you don't do your homework on time. So I just want to say, like, you have to be prepared to just keep yourself on track. Hence why you need a planner like that. Do your reading, go to your lectures, do what you're supposed to. Because I feel like a lot of freshers feel like since it's optional, then of course you're not going to do it. Since during high school, we're always like forced by teachers to do our homework. We're just so used to that forceful educational environment. And since you get so much freedom now in university, a lot of university students just took that and just use it as a wrong way and just not go to lectures, not hand in their homework since they wouldn't get punished. But then like by the time you get your degree, you're gonna regret like, oh, why didn't I try a bit harder? Because you have potential in yourself, and you're the only one who can ignite that potential in yourself if you actually set your mind to it. And just make sure before you get into university, you are determined to get your first. Be proactive, be diligent, be hardworking at the beginning of university, so that will become a habit and it will bring you a long way through life. Yeah, talking about setting a good habit at the beginning, try to take good notes from the start. I used to take really wishy-washy notes, and I just feel like, okay, I'm gonna retake it since like the lectures are gonna be recorded, some of them, so I'm just gonna rewatch it when it's exam time, and I'm just gonna take pretty notes by then. But it's such a bad idea because you waste so much time trying to rewatch all the lectures again and take prettier notes. Why don't you just do it in the first place when you have time to? That will save you like so much time for just revision without you having to write your notes down all over again. Best way to take notes, obviously I use laptop now. I used to handwrite, but it's really inefficient and I always lose my notes. So laptop is great. So I try to open a document for my module. So for example, one of my modules called Sociology of the Media. So I open one Word document for that module and just continuously write on it. So like every single time I have lectures for that module, I open that same document and I continuously write on it, and that will just keep everything in one document. If you open a new document every time you go to a lecture, you have around 10 weeks of lectures. So I guess you have like 1 to 2 lectures a week. You have like 20 new documents for every single lecture, and it's gonna be all over the place. Why don't you just keep them in one single document that's like 20 pages long? At least you can scroll through it like a book. So that's what I personally like to do. Like, you don't have to do it, but that's just my personal preference, and I think it's really helpful for me. Whenever you have a marked essay returned or a marked assignment returned, normally through Turnitin, which is how University of Sheffield system go, always download that copy, because the way you learn is from your mistakes, right? And sometimes you might not be able to find the copy anymore after like a few months. When you have your next coursework or your next essay to write, you want to look back at your old essay, and it'll be the worst scenario when you can't find the essay you wrote like a few months ago because it's taken away. You want to read the comments from your professor and kind of work on that specific area. And also always use the mark scheme when you do any coursework, assignment, whatever that is going to be marked, because professor used that as a reference to give your work the mark. So you want to make sure you take all the boxes for the top tier criteria, that's a mouthful, for the top tier criteria of the mark scheme. I'm giving out a lot of good academic tips actually. So referencing. I've said this so many times, but referencing is so important in university. It is a new aspect of learning that you don't really utilize in secondary school. You have to make sure your referencing is on point. You have to make sure it's flawless. If you want to take away anything from this video, take away this. Make sure you have a good reference list. Try to impress your teacher by reading more. Okay? References list is basically saying how much you've read, what book you've read, what evidence you took. The more the better, obviously, because the more that means the more you read. And you just want to make sure that your referencing is on point, and that, as I said, could push you up a grade. Now I'm going to talk about more the admin things, which I don't have a lot left, but I just want to remind you guys to always check your bank account, like either monthly or optimal daily, because you want to make sure that you manage your finance really well during university, since you're living life on your own. You're really independent. I'm really trying. I know I'm a big spender, and this is something that I really need to work on. So if not, at least check your bank statement every single month to make sure there's no weird people taking money from you without your permission. Because sometimes like you might have like a subscription with like Amazon Prime or something, and you kind of canceled it.
But you didn't really cancel it.
You thought you did?
And they keep charging you every single month, and it kind of piles up a lot. So you want to make sure that people are not charging you without your consent. Talking about money, best way to save money is use your student discount. Always just ask for student discount when you go to restaurants, when you buy something, or just anything, just ask for it. Because honestly, I said just now, if you don't ask, the answer will always be no. So why not just go and ask? You got nothing to lose. University is a good time for you to learn how to drive, because okay, I feel like you're gonna say,
Oh my gosh, I have so much work and blah blah blah, and I wouldn't make time for me to learn driving.
But no, I feel like you will have more free time in university compared to you go out to work. Yeah, that's what I personally think. I might be wrong, because some people's work might be really flexible. Some people might be freelancer. Like summer, Christmas, Easter, 3 big holidays for you to learn driving. It's also a really good skill to have at a young age, because it's just really helpful for when you go to work, when you want to drive, and you don't want to start learning how to drive when you need to drive at work. But if you've already learned it when you don't really need to drive, but you might need to drive in the future, which is a university time, then that's just perfect because you've already have the skill that you need when you actually need it. So I think university is a good time to kind of consider getting a driver's license if you kind of always have an eye on wanting to drive. I think university is probably the best time. I have a driver's license now because I've done it in my first year of university. Last but not least, use Google Drive to save your documents. This is really important as a university student because who knows, like your computer might crash one day, you might spill coffee on your computer and all your work just disappear. But if you have uploaded all your work on Google Drive and you upload it on your cloud or something like that, or put it in your USB, which is kind of old school, no one really uses USB anymore, but Google Drive is just technically like a USB, you just save it in another place. Alright, so that is all from me, and I hope that my two-part series has helped you guys a lot and give you a peace of mind when it comes to university, give you a lot of good tips. And if younger Suki heard my advice when I was going to university, I would have done so much better in uni. But I'm glad that I'm in a position where I could help you guys achieve and be your best self in university. So yeah, let me know what video you want to see from me next. As always, if you have any other questions, feel free to just message me on Instagram and I'll be there for you guys. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Bye!